Gang violence, big challenge for Yakima. Boy, just had another, gang-related shooting on Friday night. What do you believe that needs to be done to address the problem here?
I think it's it's multifaceted. But initially, I mean, I was there. I was talking to the property owner on that corner 2 weeks ago, and I had discussions with him. And I before this happened, right there on the same corner. It's 2 blocks away from my house, and I
Wow.
talked to him, and I said, I was like, he told me about a drug house right there and a lot of problems that were going on right there. And so I said, well, I think that, maybe the cops just need to put these houses on notice. They can, and so I went over there and talked to the police officer and told him, I asked him if he could go knock on that door and put the people on notice. Just let them know that they're being watched. Just let them know. I think that we need more community engagement initially, right away. Even if we're not making an arrest, just let the people know that they're on watch. That that we're watching them. And that they're on notice. So because that was already a known spot for activity.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing it tied to known spots for activity, and they're kind of in centralized locations that we can step up and, even if they're not making arrests, just make sure that we're watching them.
That kind of leads into the next question about that, this policing policy that would bar officers from asking about immigration, asking about, I guess, any kind of immigration papers or anything. Do you support that policy, or because there's been allegations that people are feeling uncomfortable in Yakima to talk to police.
Yeah, and it goes way beyond that, and that's kind of honestly, it's just kind of wasting our time doing doing something that segregates a community and splits up a community. We already have laws. Basically, I'm not. If you want to do something that's across the board that works for everybody, I support it. If you're doing something that's like what they're trying to do right now, I don't support it. But I do support community police getting back engaged. That's not, the laws aren't why people aren't talking to police. They're not talking to them because they don't trust them on that side of town. So the people that are committing it, they don't trust the police. It's not because of immigration status.
Really? You don't think there's a reason that they don't trust the police, which would be what?
Just because the interactions that they have, for a lot of people on the poor side of town, the interactions they generally have with the police are negative interactions.
Due to their economic condition?
Just because of everything's gang related. Everything's considered gang related even though it's not. And so basically if you're not dressed as nice, there's just natural it's just natural human psychology to discriminate or to judge instantly. And and I think that we all have to work past that on every level.
Right, but basically what you're saying, though, is you're saying that the Yakima police fails to differentiate. We've got a gang unit, and you're saying that they don't separate out, and that's why people are afraid?
No, I'm saying that, basically, people down there have been, the only time that the police are in a lot of their lives, there's a lot of great cops in Yakima, but there's some of them that are not treating people with dignity. If you treat all people with dignity, then people will be likely to respond. And a lot of people down on the east side, a lot of people that are not well off are not getting the dignity, and they're quite frankly getting harassed by some of the cops. I was down on Third one night. We hear a lot about the cops don't have enough resources. Yet I'm walking down there at 10 o'clock at night, and they got 5 cop cars pulled over one guy for riding his bicycle on the sidewalk. And those are not uncommon situations. I just think that they're and that wouldn't happen to somebody else that looked well-to-do, or that's just. Those kind of stories are very prevalent in Yakima, and if you're kind of well off, then you don't really see that. But,
well, I wouldn't consider myself well off, but I don't see that, and I've not heard that. So basically, that's an indictment of our police department based on what, your first-hand knowledge and anecdotal information from East Side.
Yeah, from living down there, absolutely, and that's what I'm hearing from everybody, that they have this negative interaction, and I wanna break through that barrier that we
Okay.
have. So my goal is to, on both sides, I'm talking to both sides and saying, hey, just say hello, and people down there are saying, let's just say hello, let's just like just take 2 seconds out of your day to introduce yourself, for the police to introduce themselves to the people in the community.
All right.
And on vice versa too. I see people down in my community that are saying, hey, just just come and say hi. We're not asking for much. Just don't just sit there and watch us. And you can get out of your car and interact. And I've been working with police directly to tell them the same thing. When we have these opportunities to break through those barriers and to break through the tension, this is what we need to do. At the parks, at the community safety forums, I talked to the police officers because they were kind of standing in the back corner and saying, this is your opportunity right now to go say hello to these kids and start building good relationships, so they perceive you in a positive manner, because that's what we need to do, is break through those barriers of those tensions that exist right now.
Okay.
What are the people in your district telling you? I suppose you've done some door knocking here. What's the issues that are? I mean, is that one of the big issues in your district that you're hearing from your voters?
The big issues are the streets, sidewalks, and allowing businesses to prosper, small startups, and some of the big businesses too. I haven't been able to look into the exact details of why Yakima seems to repel the businesses. I know it's cleaner streets, like a lot of the companies come in and they see the riffraff basically and then turn around and leave. But yeah, fixing the potholes. People want the basics. Like, people want to go back to the basics. They just want government to handle what we already have before we're moving forward onto these other projects. Fix the potholes, fix the sidewalks around the schools, but I think that can come. I think we can have creative solutions too to do some of those, and that's what I'm kind of working on right now, is creative solutions to make that stuff happen right now without implementing a new tax, and to get more community involvement on these projects so we can do it now.
Say that a $24 million plan would have done a lot of that, and they didn't even get a second on it to vote on it the other night. So it's going to take a new plan, because that would have been a $19 car tab tax, and that didn't get anywhere. So all of those projects ostensibly are dead unless somebody like yourself comes along with an idea of a new way to make it happen. So if you get on there, there is a ready job for you right there to address.
Would you have supported the license fee?
No. Well, most people in my district are that discretionary spending, as a whole, is dying, and so every one of these new taxes and new things are just breaking people. Seriously, that discretionary spending is dying, and we got to come up with more creative solutions. The city's already, pulling out $240 million out of the community. So we need to come up with better solutions and more creative solutions, and get people working together on these projects, so we don't have to keep taxing everybody because they're maxed out. The majority of people, especially on the east side, that lower incomes are maxed out, and every dollar for them counts. You're taking away from their food and their ability to live and prosper. So it's my goal to make sure that we can build that foundation, and people are able to, everybody's able to prosper here in Yakima, not just the people that don't have money, but the people that do have money, and we're able to get businesses here, and everybody's able to be well.
All right. Well, one of the things that politicians generally do when they try to meet people and reach out to them is the old, what they call the porch step pitch. You ring a doorbell and somebody answers the door, and you've got your 60 seconds to tell them why you. And so we're just about out of time for this segment. So here's your, oh look, it's the candidate. Why you, sir?
If you like the way things are, then I'm definitely not the guy. But if you want somebody with new ideas, and that not only has a backbone, but I kind of have to stand up and speak up for what I see, and what I see going on, and I have creative solutions that I'm implementing right now. For me, it's not about what I'm saying I'm going to do; it's about what I'm actually doing. I'm working on a program right now, community crosswalks, to get people more engaged in our communities, to get the kids back out on the streets, participating in in our communities, and that's where I think it's going to come from. I think it's going to come from within our communities, not from outside, not these big long-term projects. We've been waiting on those our whole lives, but I think it's going to come from within the community, and that's what I'm doing right now, is getting that community involvement, getting people going on these projects, getting ownership of our communities. That's what we need, is we need ownership, and people need to realize that this town belongs to them. It doesn't belong to they. There is no they, it's only us.
All right, one last question, and there's some talk, given the fact that we went to a districted voting, that leaves nobody really beholding to the city at large, and we've already seen the fallout in some instances of my district versus your district. So there's been some sort of underground talk about a change in our system to a strong mayor, where the mayor would at least be voted separately and by the city at large versus a city administrator and a ceremonial mayor. What's your take on that?
Well, actually, I like the city being broke up into districts right now, and I don't know the strong mayor thing, but as it is right now, I think that we should take more district pride, and maybe even and then like my idea is to break it up into smaller districts even. So I can break it up into manageable sections. So I can take 7 separate districts within my district, to where I can have community like liaisons in that area that are very active in their community. I've already met a lot of people that are very active, so they would know more details than I would about their specific area. And so my goal is to even section it off to where you have some community pride, and you're able to know where your district is, and to know that what it means, you know, and you know, because people don't even know where their district is. You don't know where Yakima starts and stops. And so my goal is to just create more of that love for your district, and
Sure.
and to know where it's at right now.
You're a part of town, know
Yeah.
it, love it, take care of it.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Well, thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
We have
Jason.
Fox News coming up here in just a couple seconds. Good luck. You are one of the races where the primary will make a difference. It'll separate it down to just a couple candidates, and we wish you the best of luck. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.